Hey everybody, I'm Jesse, and welcome to another awesome episode of Gen X Thinks. All you gnarly dudes and chicks out there. Today I'm going to talk about the future of the working environment, the future of the employment, that kind of thing. Considering the advent of AI and robots in this, right? What is that going to look like? What is the future of working? What are people going to do? And Gen X in particular. Now, thinking about this, it is just obvious that AI and robots are going to basically take over the workforce in every way that is possible. And the reason I come to that conclusion is it's just greed. It's corporate greed, it's people's greed, it's just about money. I mean, and proof in point is self-checkout. Look at that shit. They fired, I don't know how many people, how many cashiers were working and doing a good job and, enjoying their job and meeting people every day and making a living. They were fired. Simply because the corporations wanted to make more money. Point blank. End of story. They didn't have to do it. They did not have to put all these self-checkouts in there. Now I walk into a store. There's all kinds of self-checkouts. I don't know how many. Each store is different. But then there's at least a dozen empty registers where there used to be cashiers there. And that tells me that they give not half a shit about people. They just don't care about people. They don't care about their employees. They just don't care. And it's partly due to probably mainly due to just the corporate structure, the way through time this corporate shit has been structured with the laws and regulations and stuff. They have to make money for the stockholders, and that's the bottom line. That's their job, whatever it takes to make the stockholders money. If they don't do that, then they'll get fired. The board of directors will fire them. So it's not rocket science. You do your job or you get fired, just like a carpenter or a nurse or a waitress or a busboy, whatever. You do your job or you get fired. If you're not making the stockholders more money than last year, you'll get fired. So, yeah, that leads directly into the future. You can see this. It's not prescient or you don't need a crystal ball to see this shit. You can buy one AI or rent one AI and then it can do multiple things, right? You can copy it onto multiple computers and it can do the job for one payment. That AI can do the job of 50, 60, 150, 160, 60,000 employees. I mean, it would just save a company millions or billions of dollars in labor. That's not hard to figure out. And the same thing with robots. Instead of paying, you'll have an upfront cost of purchasing the robot, but instead of paying, hourly wages to thousands or millions of employees, you just pay dozens of employees to service the robots. Until they figure out how to build a robot that can repair other robots, then there will be no employees. So yeah, it's coming. It's coming. The only question is how soon? How soon is this gonna take over? And we saw with the advent of self-checkout, it doesn't take long. The one I remember first was Walmart started with the self-checkout, and then it just went. It just spread from there. Now almost every single store has self-checkout. And they did the math when self-checkout first came out. I remember reading articles and stuff about people stealing from self-checkout. But they ran the math before that. They figured we're going to get this much theft. We're going to, but we pay this much out in labor. Well, they figured that people would steal less than they would pay out in labor. So hell, we'll do it. We'll make more money next year. Even though that people were stealing, they made more money. And they knew that in advance. They ran the numbers. I guarantee you, it's about numbers. X's and O's, facts and figures. If it makes more money, they do it. That's the bottom line. So it's that, and my point in all that is it's coming. The people who think that it's not, you're in my opinion, you're just fooling yourself, because it's coming. And to not be prepared for that is to not be prepared. You're going to get caught with your pants down. And that is what, and I honestly don't think Gen Xers are going to get caught like this. And that's what this video is about. The younger generation is going to get caught. Yeah, because they're in a lot of the jobs that AI is just going to wipe off the map, right? AI is going to be able to program. AI is going to be able to make video games. AI is going to be able to just make porn. OnlyFans is going to go away. That kind of shit. AI, they're just going to AI movies. All this stuff, all these jobs are just going to go away. And those are the kind of jobs that these younger people are aspiring to, and they're just going to get this job. This is going to happen in massive waves. These young people are just going to come out of college and get these good jobs, and they're going to be all right. And then 2 weeks later, it's going to come down from corporate that AI is being installed, and all these people are going to get laid off. And these kids aren't even going to be able to get unemployment because they didn't work there long enough. That kind of shit. So yeah, I think the younger generations are going to be the hardest hit with this, and they're not prepared. They're not adaptable. They're not resilient. They're not self-reliant. All of the traits of Generation X, they're not. They're the opposite, and it's really going to cripple them. But Gen X, as a rule now, not all of us, but as a rule, we're pretty self-reliant. We'll figure shit out. We'll do it on our own. We've lived through shit. A lot of us have lived through shit already. We've been through tough times. All this AI and robots and shit, that's just more tough time. Okay, bring it. I'll figure it out. And that's how I feel. I'm going to figure it out. Whatever happens, I'm going to figure it out. If they make a robot that can do handyman shit and start, replace me, I'll figure something else out to do. I'll figure out another way to make a living. It might slow me down for a little bit, but while I figure it out, but it's not going to stop me. It's not going to, I'm not going to be in the poorhouse or anything, living on the streets. I'll figure it out. And that's the main advantage that Gen X has. We've lived through stuff. We know that it's just another bump in the road, and we're gonna figure it out. We're not, it is not our only avenue. We'll figure something else out, and we will. Think about it. We will. It's not the end of the world. We'll keep on trucking. We've already been through recessions and all this shit, lost our jobs, lost everything. Some of us, a lot of us, lost a lot during the last recession, but we survived. Here we are. So whatever else comes down the pike, I mean, it's not going to be fun. Don't get me wrong. We're not going to be jumping up and down because AI took our jobs or whatever, or a robot took our job. But we're not going to be jumping out of buildings either. We're just going to keep trucking, just like we always have. Our independence that we learned as latchkey kids, being on our own at a young age, that's going to go a long way. If you think about it, because we don't rely on somebody else, because when you do that, when you rely on somebody else to fix your problems, then somebody else might be busy. Somebody else might, be going through some shit. Somebody else might have just had a death in the family. So you've got to wait until they're damn good and ready to help you, to figure it out for you. Right? When a Gen Xer comes up against a problem or a hurdle in life, we figure it out ourselves. We get shit done. We don't wait. We don't have to put it that way. We might wait. Some of us are probably procrastinators. Hell, I'll put it off till next week. That's good. Whatever floats your boat. But we don't have to wait, is my point. We're not forced to wait. Okay? We get shit done. And we decide to do it, we do it. We figure it out. We're independent. We're not relying on somebody else to figure it out for us. We're not, all this other shit, asking for handouts from people we know to help us. We just get it done. We do what needs to be done, and we keep on with life. And that is another thing that's going to serve us well in this coming economy, this coming change in the working environment, right? Because there's going to be a lot of people who are affected by it. And if you're dependent on someone else to solve your problems, then the odds are that person's going to be going through the same shit you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the ideal situation, to ask help from someone who needs help and who is probably asking for help from someone else, relying on someone else. And then it's just a circle jerk of people relying on each other who need one strong person to be able to stand up and help the whole group. But that just leads to a downward spiral of depression and, because you have no one to rely on. In reality, you have no one to rely on but yourself. That's a hard lesson I learned, but I learned it, and I learned it at a young age. I've got no one to rely on but myself. And that's it. That's it. The buck stops here. In Jesse's life, no one's going to bail me out. No one's going to come to my rescue and solve my problems. No one on this planet except me. I'm the only one I can count on. I'm the only one I can rely on, period. And that's because I'm Gen X, and Gen X knows this shit. If you need to do it, you do it. If you need to figure it out, you figure it out. And keep trucking. The Gen X resilience is gonna serve us well too, I'm telling you. We're battle tested. We've been through recessions, .com bubble bursts, and corporate downsizing, and everything you can think of, right? We've been through catastrophes, everything that life could throw at you. Gen X has suffered war, natural disaster. Everything. Everything that life can throw at you, Gen X has been through it and bounced back. We know how to bounce back. We know how to weather the storm. We know how to get up after we've been knocked down and rebuild. Rebuild our lives, rebuild our bank accounts, rebuild our family, rebuild whatever. And it's going to serve us well. I really don't see Gen X having a generation-wide problem with this AI and robot thing coming. And I really honestly believe it's coming. And if I've learned anything from the past, is that when this new age or whatever arrives, right, at this age of artificial intelligence and robots and all this shit, when this arrives, it's going to be a lot worse than we think in some ways, and a lot better in other ways than we imagine. That's just the way it goes. Every time that we think about something in the future and we project, what might happen in the future, it's always much worse than we thought in a lot of ways. But the things we were really scared of didn't pan out, right? it was easier in some ways. So yeah, I think that's closer to the truth than what we actually believe. But either way, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult to adjust. And Gen X is definitely suited to that adjustment, to that change, to rising from those ashes and embracing that change, whatever it may be, right? Because nobody knows exactly what's going to happen. We can have a good idea. A lot of jobs are going to be lost, but what's that effect going to be, right? So our resilience is going to serve us well. I think we're going to be okay. And a lot, we also have to think about the fact that Social Security and stuff, that it's not going to be there. We don't, unless you've had a 401k or something that you've been putting money into for the last 20, 30 years, you're going to end up working well into your old age, in my opinion. I mean, that's what I'm faced with. That's what I'm looking at. I don't have, a big fat 401k account anywhere. I'm just going to probably work until I die is where I'm at. And that's, it is what it is. And I think there are a lot of people out there who are in the same boat that I'm in. I mean, we're not going to be able to count on Social Security or a big, pension, because like our grandparents and our parents had a lot of them. We don't have those things anymore. Social Security, even if we're lucky enough to have it, it's not going to be enough to even pay one bill probably, So it'll be slightly helpful, but you can't count on that to support you for the rest of your life, the next 10, 20, 30 years, however long we may live after retirement. So the way I'm looking at it now is I'm not going to retire. So that's where I'm at. When I get too old, I might have to slow down and just do different kinds of work. I might not be able to accept all the kinds of work that I do now, but it's just, it is, like I said, it is what it is. It's what I'm in this position now because of the choices I've made throughout my life. I can't blame anybody else, and this is my lot in life, so I'm ready to face it. But I'm bound and determined to face reality. I'm not going to kid myself and screw around and then cry about it when I get there. And I think a lot of Gen Xers not only are in the same position I'm in, but have the same outlook. We'll survive. We'll be all right, and we will. Another thing that will help us in this coming change is our can-do attitude. I mean, we've always been do-it-yourselfers, a lot of us anyway, do-it-yourselfers. We were there when PCs first came into prominence and the internet and all that stuff, and we just had to figure stuff out. There weren't these online classes. You didn't see these learn to code Python for free and all this shit. We didn't have that shit when we were kids. We just had to figure it out. We had to get in there and learn how to code on our own, and order books or go to the library or whatever. And if we wanted to learn how to do it, we did it after school, at whatever, and we did it. And that's gonna be a strong suit in our favor when the time comes. Our can-do attitude, because when we see a problem, we know we can figure it out. We know we can do it. It's just whether we want to devote the time. It's just a matter of priorities at that point. Once we identify a problem, now we just weigh the priorities. Is it worth my time and effort to figure it the hell out or not? I know I can do it. You damn right I can. Now so will I? Or do I want to sit on the couch, or do I just want to shift my focus over to something else and do something else because I'm not really into this shit, whatever the case may be. Or maybe the financial aspect, there's enough money into this shit that makes me interested in it. I'm interested in the money. So I'll figure it the hell out. I'll do it. And that kind of thing that's going to serve us well. I just believe we're well prepared. We're in a situation where hard times are coming, but Gen X is poised to excel. We're going to get it done. And whether it be, this gig economy where everybody just does gigs or whatever, or we learn to repair robots or deal with AI or whatever. The ways of making money online and in the world are just endless. All you need is an idea. That's it. You get an idea and start a customer base and apply some time to it, and you're there. And Gen X realizes this because we've made money in so many different ways throughout our lives. A lot of us didn't have the opportunity to go to a factory every single day and make a good living doing the same thing every single day for our entire lives. We didn't even have that opportunity. We went from job to job, and that corporation downsized, and then we had to shift entire careers or that kind of thing. The economy collapsed and we had to do something completely different. Went from being a banking executive to a handyman, or to having your own lawn maintenance company or something. We've just completely shifted direction at the drop of a hat because we had to, and we figured it out. And a lot of these younger kids have never done that. They've never had to do that. They've just been online in these video games most of their lives, right? Or on Twitter or whatever. I can never remember the name of that one. TikTok. Looking at TikTok and shit, you know what I'm saying? And there's another avenue, is this new metaverse thing. There's a whole metaverse that might be, and that's a gamble though, that might take prominence here. If you've ever seen that movie Ready Player One, well, all that stuff in there, people make all that stuff, and there's money to be made in this metaverse. You create stuff in there. And I've seen the things for it where you can create worlds, and then if your world is cool enough and people want to go there, then you make money off of it. Yeah. Doesn't really appeal to me too much, being in the metaverse that much, but I mean, some people will probably love it and can make a living doing that shit, especially artistic people who like that whole virtual reality thing. I can definitely see some people filling that niche and making a killing, So yeah, that kind of thing. The possibilities are endless, and all you need is the can-do attitude and the confidence to attempt it, to try it, to dig off into it and see what happens. And I believe that a lot of Gen Xers have that. A lot of Gen Xers I've met anyway, the people I've known in my life, that they don't have a problem with that kind of stuff. So I really think we're going to be okay. And especially if we start creating communities like Gen X thinks here, and we can share ideas and share opportunities with each other, hell, it's going to be awesome. So I'm not afraid of that kind of future at all. I'm really not afraid of any kind of future, post-apocalyptic doom or metaverse nirvana or whatever it is. I don't care. I'm ready. Bring it. I'll be all right. And I'll leave you there with that. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, subscribe, and comment. If you'd like to support the channel by becoming a member, I'll put that link down in the description, or you can head over to the channel page and become a member that way. If you'd like to support the channel directly, you can do so by clicking on that awesome super thanks button down there. Or you can head over to Buy Me a Cup of Coffee and buy me a cup of coffee. I appreciate those of you who do that. Thank you very much. If you're interested in Gen X gear, we got some pretty cool stuff over there at Redbubble. Gen X Thinks and Gen X branded stuff, t-shirts, coffee mugs, stickers, all kinds of cool stuff like that. But I'll leave that link down in the description as well if you're interested. If you can't or don't want to support the channel in any of those ways, you can always do so by sharing these videos on your social media. That helps out a hell of a lot, so thank you very much to those of you who do that. I really, really do appreciate it. Thank you. If you have any ideas for future episodes of Gen X Thinks, please put those down in the comments. Or you can email us, and the email is genxthinks@gmail.com. And as always, stay frosty, Gen X, and I'll see you on the next one.